Salutations, salutations. We are back with another episode of Perspectives, live in person. 2 live episodes in person, fam. You know what I'm saying? Our usual, right? I'm one of your hosts, Littyyy Bro Flacko. To the left of me is Holden Stephan Roy. Say hi, Holden.
Hi, Holden.
And today in the building, or actually outside in the park, right? We have with us a man of many titles, battle rap forefather, battle rap king, god. Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact. There's not many people who even grace that. It's a small list. It's like you, Lush, and Smack and shit, and that's the end of the list. Rap legend, indie legend, Brooklyn legend, Poison Pen in the building, everybody. Yo, thank you for taking the time, baby.
Especially after trying to recover from last night. Shout out to Vice, man.
Yo, rest in peace, Vice Versus. Big shouts to Vice.
Yes, indeed.
We were all at Vice's album release party. His, I don't know if the word is posthumous or posthumous.
I think it's posthumous. I think it's posthumous.
That's what I think so too, but I've heard people say posthumous, and that makes me question my whole life.
People also say biopic.
They do.
And it's biopic.
I thought so. I don't be knowing anymore.
Tomato.
We
all stupid.
But after last night, we all definitely partied really hard, and I think that we all feeling it. But we gave ourselves a little bit of rest time, so hopefully we'll be able to get through this and whatnot.
Word. Those Coochie Fritos held me down. The Coochie Fritos spot held me down.
Coochie Frito spot always holds it down, man. Frituras. That's that fried food,
Yeah, I needed some of that.
So we interviewed Poison Pen once before.
Yes.
You should go check that out.
It's goodie.
It was a good episode. It was a great episode, actually. I feel like it was like what do they call those things that keep on like unfolding as you go type shit?
Iceberg. Yeah, when the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg,
Yeah.
So that's what they call it, the iceberg.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The iceberg. As we got deeper and deeper into the iceberg of that interview, it kept getting better and better. I learned things about you that I have not ever known in 2 decades of being your friend. Things that I was like, what?
You find out new shit all the time just by talking to people. I find out something about I'm pretty sure we don't know, none of us know everything about our parents and shit like that. Is
right.
But I found out something about my mom the other day, and I was just like, oh shit, how the fuck did I not know this? This is like the illest piece of tidbit of info. Like, yo, my mom, she sang background on the fucking Al Green record, bro.
What?
Nigga, yeah, exactly. I found that out like a few days ago. I'm like,
crazy.
She was like, yeah, I don't remember which one. That's when he was doing gospel. I'm like, yo, you just fucking out. You did it Al Green.
Crazy.
Yeah, see what I'm saying?
That is
iceberg.
That's like being like,
iceberg.
That's like, not for nothing. Your family is like, like when the next generation starts realizing like, oh, not only, because they'll probably know first and foremost, Uncle Pen is legend in the barsmith and your music, but and then they'll find out. I probably at least, if you want to break through the iceberg, I'm like, shit. My sister just dropped a record a few weeks ago. I don't remember the name of it. Called me. My fault, shit. I listened to it. I don't remember the name. She you know me. I don't remember the name of the record. Your sister that you spoke about on the last interview.
Yeah, she dropped the record like the other day, last week. So she just came back from Chicago.
And you said she makes house music, right?
Yup.
Amazing. Yeah. Especially because we're living in a moment right now. We're just coming out of the weekend that Drake dropped. What was it called again?
However, never mind or something like that.
Something
party music.
Party Music Volume 1.
Word.
Party Music Volume 1.
Honestly, never mind.
Honestly, never mind. There we go. That's the name of the album.
Yeah.
I keep on forgetting the Honestly. I remember the Nevermind, the Calm and Nevermind, but I keep on forgetting the Honestly. That album, and it's, I think, sparking not a resurgence, but like people's interest who maybe didn't have a huge interest in like house and dance music. So like, you know, your sister, her having dropped, what, a week ago you said?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
My other sister's performing at Lincoln Center right now. Like, as we speak.
Amazing.
She doing background with somebody else. I can't remember who she's doing background for. But she's in Lincoln Center right now as we speak. She's in Lincoln Center right now performing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's crazy, man.
Wow musical family, yo.
Facts, and I can't play shit.
I can't play shit either. Shouts to Rye, my nephew, our nephew.
Shouts to Rye.
Rye could play guitar. I think he could tap a few keys out on the piano and whatnot. That's, you know, I respect anybody and everybody who can like play instruments. I definitely did not have the
acumen.
The acumen.
I played trumpet. Is that more iceberg shit? I played the trumpet. I was trash, but I played trumpet in my junior high school band.
Junior high school band.
Yeah.
Say words. So you was in the band.
Yeah, I was trash though. But the whole band was trash. But I mean, we were kids. We tried.
You probably you could have hit people with the one time at band camp.
Word. and you would think like, you know, the kid that got asthma, that the instrument that he would choose to play would be the trumpet. That's real smart.
That's hilarious.
Fucking idiot. Man.
In elementary school, when they force you to play an instrument in class, I was forced to play the violin, and I was not very good at it. But shouts to the violin, because later, many years later, I fell in love with the violin. Mostly thanks to I think first RZA, and then not long after RZA, Kanye kind of became like an adopter of the violin too. And then I fell in love with Mary Ben-Ari. That's the kind of white girl I like.
Oh yeah, she was fire. She did a lot of her early work was with Stronghold, with Breeze.
What?
Yup.
Say word.
Yep.
Wait, tell us about this, cause this.
Yeah, when she first was making her waves, when she first came out, pretty much, she was fucking with underground indie niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And she did a lot of work with Breeze, a few of my other dudes and shit.
But yeah, flowing. That's crazy.
So she was on the scene. This before the Kanye stuff. Way before
of course, that. I would imagine.
That was like what? Yeah, that was years before Kanye. The Kanye, cause obviously.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't come out. I mean, even if. What was it, like 01 his first, 02?
Nah, it was after that. It was, I think it was like 04. 04 was college dropout. Yeah, it was 04.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So this is like shit, 01, 2000. Like,
okay.
It might be even before. It might, yeah.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Y'all working with a lot of live instruments back then? Like, what? Like I imagine there's a lot of sampling happening, but at the same time, technology is not as accessible. So would it be easier at certain points to end up finding session musicians to work with?
Nah, it's rap, it's sample. What the fuck? We steal the record. What the fuck? No, not at all.
Right.
Not at all. Like
no,
we had
back
to,
then
yeah, we had to actually, but there were people, they were, you know, musicians that we did work with, but it wasn't like because we couldn't do it. Like it's hip hop, you know, you're gonna take a record, sample it, whatever you don't need, you know, technically need no session musicians for that.
Right.
But they were like, you know, we New York City, there's musicians all over, so obviously sometimes we did link up with some musicians. You know, there was a band, Doogiest, that was a hip hop band on the scene back in that time that we used to rock with heavily. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely rock with, you know, with live musician, but it wasn't on some old. It wasn't, you know, because we couldn't do anything else. You know what I mean?
Just more for the art of the experience of doing it.
Yeah. But me personally, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I prefer, you know what I'm saying, rocking over more traditional type shit, like just, you know what I'm saying, hard beat shit like that. So a lot of the times, the musicians, a lot of the musicians that were, you know, that played didn't
even do
didn't
that
really
type
translate
of,
to the hip hop
to
type
the
of sound or feel.
The raw, the
Right.
raw drums.
So it was
that
difficult
hit.
to find those
Like,
guys, but when you
yeah.
found those guys, it was always great
And then
to work
especially
with.
because of MPC.
Right? Yeah, we always had drum machines and shit like that. Yeah, we had, I had a, like I said, my pops was a producer. It still makes music.
OG, like
Yeah.
like producer, like in the sense of oh my God, why can't I remember Michael Jackson's
Quincy Jones.
Like,
No, actually, I mean, my
or like actually like a beat maker.
Both.
Producer. Okay, both.
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 You know what I'm saying? He had his team and shit like that. They did a lot of work in the '90s, like a lot of demo work, shit like that. He did a lot of shit with Salt. When Salt was doing her solo, Salt and Pepper Salt.
Yeah.
He was like doing like shit, working with they camp and shit like that.
Wait, before she even was in the group?
No.
Okay,
This is
after the group, when she was doing solo shit
right.
a few years,
Right.
not long ago.
Well, that was still like the '90s and shit.
Damn, really?
He was working with her like in the '90s type shit.
Oh,
Like,
that's right. They broke up in like the mid '90s.
probably. I couldn't leave him.
Yeah, something like
But
that.
yeah, but he was fucking with they camp. So yeah, I always had beat machines in the crib anyway. I had a 626. No, was that CL6? No. What's the one that was before the 80? It was another model with some old shit. He had it from back in the day. So I we always had
crazy how my mind immediately goes to guns. I'm like, yeah, ASR. wrong acronym of letters, buddy.
not AR, ASR. But yeah, so like having access to beats and shit like that wasn't a problem. That was never a problem. Like ever.
So yeah.
Or we can just rap over instrumentals or other shit. Like
Yeah, back then.
I would just go get it. If I like the shit song, I just go to the spot, get the single, get the CD single.
J-Arm, shouts to J-Arm.
Yeah. Word, like shit like that. So getting beats, even if it was never a problem. Like, there was always something to rhyme on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. And so you start like, I don't know, back then in that part, like, because like you're like a lot more active as an artist, and now you're like, I find, as you told me, making legends these days. That's what you'll be up to.
Yeah, I do what I feel like doing, I should say. Like I'm always gonna rhyme. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly. I just enjoy doing it. But like I don't feel like I'm pressed to put out music all the time. So like it's not that deep. I do this shit for me more than anything. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, through my experience in this field, like I don't know. I just know how to. I have valuable services, I guess, through my relations. So I just move and shake and make things happen. Whether it's through the battle rap shit, whether it's work with my my WWE dudes. He was in the studio hype yesterday. This motherfucker, this nigga was hype, yo.
We went to the studio after the Mortal Technique interview. We went to the studio with Poison Pen, and he was in the studio with Wader Black from Team Hami. You know what I mean? And then also in the studio was the illustrious MVP of WWE fame, former champion.
Yeah,
correct?
U.S. champ. I think he's tag team champ. He got Hurt Business, Bobby Lashley, all that.
Champ,
But that's my man. You know what I'm saying?
Holden was pretty excited to meet MVP. It was to in all fairness, I'll give it to him. Like if it would have been Coco Beware, or if it had been Coco Beware or Blue Blazer or the Rockers in there, I would have lost my mind.
Rest in peace to Blue Blazer, because Lil Heart is gone.
Multiple people when they found that out in my circles was like losing their shit too, because he's actually like really hyped.
I mean, he's active right now. He just wrestled in the pay-per-view a few weeks ago.
Yeah, he's a big name.
He's on Raw. He's on Raw every week. You know what I'm saying?
Put some respect on that man's
He
name.
manages.
I think he's really cool.
No, actually, you put all the respect on his name.
No, you did. It was just funny. You were more cheesing than regular. Like you normally have a jovial, but you were extra happy.
He was extra happy. By the way, actually, I think he might have reacted more to MVP than he did to Mortal Technique. It was cool. He kept on gushing about the situation and the experience with Tech, but he was way more excited, I think, in person when he met.
It was like it's different kinds of people. Like I never met a WWE guy before at all. Like ever. That's the first. I'm like, you know, it's dope. Like wrestling, I like it. I fucks with it.
Yeah, me too.
Nah, I know you do.
But that's my guy though.
Pen is like the like if you, I'm pretty sure that there's some cool stories you could share with us of taking people to WWE events live downtown Manhattan when they still were doing it at 42nd Street, was it?
What they was doing? Nah, I think it was Hammerstein.
Okay, Hammerstein is where you were going to.
Yeah, we
copy. I know that. I know Penn when he would go to the events, like he brought like that hip hop sofrito flea into the building. He would show up like fucking dripping, bro. Like I'm talking about dripping, like outfit. And I remember you took a picture one time. I forgot who you were with that you took to. I almost want to say one of the Griselda guys, but it probably wasn't. But I feel like the person that was with you had on a mink. You had on some super drippy, like wild, colorful, dope fly outfit that I was just like, yo, they showed up to the WrestleMania dripping like it was the Met Gala, man.
Fuck that, we gotta get right. Like why not?
That's
but we break this, like we bring that element wherever. Like,
everywhere we go. I've never seen you not drippy. Shouts to the Ralph that you got on right now.
Nah, Ralph is mid according to Flacco. You know what I'm saying? I'm reading this post. I'm out here looking mad mid. It's alright. I make it work though. You feel me? I make it work. I did a whole tour. I did a whole tour wearing Walmart pants. Nobody even knew. I disrespected Ralph on some 90s. On some 90s label war shit, right? Because in the 90s, the designer labels, or in the early 2000s, the designer labels were like, oh, we're here. All that American wear is like nothing like us. We've been around for like close to a century. Like, how dare you compare? But like, it's funny because like Supreme and Kith honestly broke down that door, and Polo might be the only brand that made it in there with them to where it is like high end. And then there's some trash low. I mean, let's be real. There's definitely some trash low. No, well, there's cheaper brands that Ralph makes. Mm-hmm. And at the core, you should respect it because it's a Bronx nigga.
Nah, it is. And he went to my junior high school. Shouts to 135.
So for that alone.
Shouts to me, Swiss Beats, and Ralph Lauren. We all went to the same junior high school.
But that's the ultimate, like yo, this is like the ultimate New York brand.
Yeah, it is.
Like it came from the Bronx. And and my big homies made this shit pop.
Now, facts.
From the early 90s. So it's like
Brooklyn made Polo
really,
pop.
This is really. I've been living this lifestyle as long as I could get when I was rapping and shit. Like,
should we say Lower Manhattan and Brooklyn? Really? Because Thurston is an LES head. He low.
No. He from the Ville. What you talking about?
Oh, really?
Thurston from the Ville, bro.
I thought that he was Lower East Side.
Nah, he from the Ville.
You know what? I think he might have had an LES song, and I just interpreted that as
he looked like he could be from LES though. He definitely
Poppy from
exactly.
LES.
But nah, he from the Ville. He from Brooklyn, bro.
So even
from Marcus Garvey Village.
Born in the Bronx, raised in Brooklyn. Polo is definitely a quintessential New York City brand. Absolutely.
You gotta love it.
Nah,
it's like hip hop. Like it's all,
I got corrected several times on that post. I get corrected all the time. The homies check me all the time. The homies always come with the you wildin' right now.
Oh, but I love it. It's entertainment, bro. It's the Flacco wisdom.
But if I don't wild out, then a cool conversation doesn't get born out of it, and then other people don't get educated on like my ignorance. You know what I mean? Like my ignorance helps beget in knowledge to people who might have not even had that knowledge.
But yo, I was one of the first. I don't know if I was the first, but I was the first nigga to bring that wrestling in this hip hop shit together, bro.
Facts. I mean, I don't remember anybody.
Bro, I did the face breaker video in 2009.
Right.
With fucking Balls Mahoney from ECW, rest in peace. Trent Acid, rest in peace. Butterbean. I'm in the ring clotheslining niggas and shit. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
I was way ahead, bro.
Way ahead.
I was fucking. I had managed some what's the team? Cause my man Eric And it all tied together from hip hop because this dude that used to throw a lot of independent shows back in the early 2000s, like he threw whatever he threw shows, he threw events. So he would do a lot of heavy metal shit. He would do a lot of like indie hip hop shit, and he would do like whatever. He did wrestling shit.
Word.
So we just started talking. He was like, "Yo, I got." He had a league. They had TV slots on in Jersey and all that on Pro Wrestling Syndicate. And he was like, "Yo, come out, fuck with me. Like I got you, man." Like we built a relationship. And then I was just like, "Word, like for real?" He was like, "Yeah." And you know who else you know who else started his wrestling career out there? He was now in WWE. Your man Rosenberg. We used to go out there together.
Oh,
we used to go out there. It was me, Rosenberg, PH.
Wow.
Arch.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Yeah, we saw
to the bros, PH and JR.
And I used to walk. Me and Arch used to walk through. They used to think we was a fucking tag team and shit because Arch was bigger than everybody.
That makes perfect sense.
Perfect sense. But yeah, man. But I was tying that hip hop. Nah, I never wanted to wrestle. I enjoyed it. I did like fun shit. I took a few bumps just because we was in like doing the video, but I never had like let me wrestle. Like nah. I respect it for what it is.
Guys.
I would definitely do that. Like I said, I did it one for this team called Urban Legends. And look at who my man is. The best manager in the game right now, MVP.
Oh word.
He's the best manager in the game right now.
Wait, you know MVP was in that duo.
From
Urban Legends?
No.
Okay,
No.
I
was
was
what you talking about? Not at all. No.
Right.
It was not.
Okay,
It was two. I don't remember their names separately, but that was the tag team. This a few years back. You can Google it. You can probably find them.
Word. And now you be managing MVP.
No, MVP's. No, I'm saying, I'm saying if I was the manager, if that was in a magical alternate reality that was to happen, I would definitely seek guidance from my man who's one of the best managers in the game right now. That's what I'm saying.
I wasn't aware that he's a manager now.
Yeah, he does both. He does both.
Okay.
But because he's so good talking.
Right.
So that's what managers are for. Because a lot of the dudes can wrestle or whatever,
but they don't
have no personality. So he the one that's gonna go in there and talk that shit.
Right.
If he gotta get dirty, he'll still jump in the ring too. But he this.
Word. Right.
So it's good. Like you remember how back in the day, like. He had a Bobby Heenan, but he couldn't really fight though. He was gonna talk all that. But like, but son, he still go.
Right.
But I'm gonna wear the suit now. I'm gonna rep my man. Right. If I gotta get dirty,
then
I'm gonna get dirty. That's him now.
Suit jacket off.
Yeah. So a manager, that'd be fun. Like
that'd be fun.
Because I
can picture you doing that.
I definitely enjoy wrestling, man. Like I've been watching wrestling since I was a kid, man. Like I ain't act like I don't. Like I watch wrestling since I was a kid. Man.
To age myself, I immediately think about like all the like Like I think about like who was Jake the Snake's manager? Or did he?
He probably had a few managers. I don't remember.
Was it the $1 Million Man?
I think
he had a manager. No,
Virgil was $1 Million Man.
Virgil was the $1 Million Man.
The dude they used to come out with the briefcase that had the money belt. Or
that's $1 Million Man. Teddy
DiBiase. Yeah. And he had a manager, no? Yeah. He didn't have
he might have. I mean, you know that shit. They be going through so many gimmicks.
Right.
And I know he was a manager too. He managed as well.
Oh,
but listen.
So basically, it's like a giant interweaving soap opera storyline. So I say that with all love. There's nothing wrong with that.
No question.
It's highly entertaining to watch. But so it's hard to be like, okay, maybe in '96 he was a manager, but by the end of '96 he's a heel again. But then he has a face run 3 years later.
Right. It's like it all blurs together after a while. Especially if you've been watching the show. Because I watch, but I'm not like a fanatic, so I'm not gonna be like, yo, in 2005 at this pay-per-view, I can't tell you all that shit, but I can still, you know what I mean? Yeah, man. Wrestling
is dope.
And there's so many parallels with the hip hop shit, the battle rap shit, and all that shit.
It is. No, there is. It's definitely a braggadocious thing, right? Like all the way, like plenty of boasting and like I'm that dude, I'm the best. Who's better than me? Slapping your chest, you know what I mean? Asking who wants to compete, you know? A lot of parallels with hip hop.
Yeah, man.
A lot of parallels.
Hell yeah.
I definitely can't think of anybody who is bringing that into the culture before.
Listen, I used to go to when West first started getting popular. We was going to Barclays together all the time. Like Cause my man lived right behind Barclays. My man Chris.
When
Westside.
Westside.
So when they was coming out, when they was
Gunn from Griselda.
yes. So I used to go to all them shits, you know what I'm saying? Like 5-6 years ago, we used to go to Barclays all the time.
So it might have been fuck around him, because I feel like he be rocking with the Minks a lot heavy, or like.
I mean, he always.
Yeah.
Some wardrobe game is
I think
ridiculous.
the picture of y'all two together was the picture that I was like, yo, the drip is crazy for the WWE event.
I think that was Wale Mania we was at.
Word.
I think that was Wale Mania, probably. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And Wale was, it was his thing.
Yeah, cause he a wrestling fan.
Wrestling fan too.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was probably that we was at.
Yo, the hip hop connections are very deep, very very deep.
And they look around, they be fucking borrowing from us. They was doing fake battles and shit and all that. I'm like, yo, they had Wale hosted. I'm like, yo, son, I'm right here, son. You know Rosenberg used to host my battle. Why don't you call me to do that shit? You got Wale up there. Like, I mean, there was no disrespect to Wale, but you ain't from that. You a hip hop dude, but you ain't from that. Like, you guys, I'm really from that. And you know me. Like, if niggas would, that'd have been so crazy. Like, you know,
Rosenberg being Rosenberg. I don't like Rosenberg.
That's I ain't talked to the bro in a while, but shout out to you, my guy.
Yeah, he's always had wild love for Rosenberg, and you had a great friendship with him. He's come out to events.
He used to come out. Come on, man. People that supported us and shit like that. I can't never. He wrote. He gave us write-ups and shit, wrote us up in the fucking source when that was still kind of thing. Like
I respect it.
Yeah, I'm always gonna give him that love, yo.
There's something about him that I just never was a fan of.
I mean, that's all good.
I can tell that him and me have personalities that would be like a clashing. Like if we were to sit down and have a hip hop conversation, I feel like it'd be a lot of clashing. But of opinions.
You know what's crazy? You might be totally. You could be right, but you might be totally. You know how I felt like that about. And then we did that movie, and I was like, oh shit! I actually had to call.
When you did the Bodied movie,
and I was with Charlamagne. I was with Charlamagne the whole weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, dang, like all I know is I don't know him personally. I've been around him once or twice, but I don't know him.
Clips online.
Right, and I'm like, damn, son, I might
have been wrong on this.
Yeah, we might not mix. Like, because all I see is, so I actually called because Tech knew him and shit. So I called Tech. I'm like, yo, son, you know, son. He like, yo, he was like, yo, he cool, he alright, he good. And I'm like, you sure? You know what I'm saying? Because you know, like, he was like, nah, he good or he tripped. Like, so Tech told me he was good dude. I said, all right, if my man told me he good, because he told me like, yo, what? Yeah, he this and that, but he told me he was good. Long story short. So we pulled up, whatever. We took the whole weekend. You know what I'm saying? Because you see, the scene we did was only maybe like
2 minutes.
Nah. It was the whole. It was the whole last battle. So
right.
It was probably like a good
15 minutes.
15-20 minute chunk of the movie.
Right.
But so we did that shit for like 3 days, bro.
Right. Yeah, because that's what movies are like.
Yeah. So I'm with this motherfucker the whole time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I was just
you
like,
realize he's cool.
Yeah, and I'm like I had nothing bad to say, son. Yeah. And then the last scene that we had shot, he had to leave early because he had to do Breakfast Club. He had to get back to New York.
Right.
And then we leaving, you know what I mean? He was like, yo, Pink, call me, gave me his number. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, okay, what up? I'm like, and there you go. Then I was like, yo, son, I said, yo, let me tell you something, man. He said, well, you thought I was an asshole, but I'm a cool nigga in real life? Like, just like
he knew what time it was.
Just like Charlamagne.
He's had it happen to him before.
Like with the Charlamagne the God. I'm just like, oh, you a fucking, now you an asshole. But nah, he was like, what? You know, and I was just like, yeah.
Pretty much.
He's like, I'm a cool nigga. I said, like,
we New Yorkers. We not gonna lie to your face.
I'm like, yo, you wrong.
Yeah.
So you could be wrong. You know what I'm saying?
And we feel a need to definitely let it be known.
Yeah, but not.
We have an energy that we like. I don't think I'm gonna like this guy. And then if you end up liking him, you always, as a New Yorker, I feel like our go-to is like, yo, you know what? I thought I didn't like you, but actually I do. That's New York energy all the way.
You know what I mean? Good brother. I ain't got nothing bad. Like people, but you know, but you can look at the persona and be like, yeah. But you could be totally wrong.
I didn't like him for a while, and I feel like I've watched him. Same thing that I feel like with Nori. Like I feel like I've watched them mature on air. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Nori definitely is.
I see,
like, super duper.
I see Nori's like, bro, to go from being who was when he started to I don't say nigga no more. Call me the Yonde, which is like I don't care, right? But like I also appreciate the growth. He used to.
I mean, he went from I don't even drink like that. I sell crack like to this like.
Yeah.
Nori has definitely. I mean, I don't know him personally. I met him a few times. I don't know him personally, but now you can see, like you said, you can see
it on
like,
the show.
Like he didn't.
A big criticism was like of him from like everybody in hip hop is like, Nori, he interrupts too much. Nowadays, he interrupts less. You know what I mean?
You gotta see. Yeah. Shit, I watched that. I'll be like anytime I do a big interview like that, I will always watch and be like, all right, like I did like that math shit.
Yeah.
Like. I catch myself, because I'm like, it's easy to talk over motherfuckers and shit, and it's just like, sometimes you gotta catch yourself, but then, you know, you might look at the comments and be like, all right, because, you know, comments, people act like they don't see motherfuckers see comments, man. You just don't, you don't
make it
like,
known.
I look at it like once, like when something first come out, I look at it, I ain't gonna be on them shit every day. I look at it once and see what see what the consensus is and keep it pushing. But so I take criticism too, man. Like, and sometimes motherfuckers, you gotta fall back and listen and then get back to the point, like, shit like that, man.
Battle rap culture really teaches you how to take criticism and how to like eat those negative comments, and I mean, depending, right, what kind of person you are. Because when I first got in battle rap, I was not the one that ate them. I was the one that went and commented back.
This guy was the worst,
man. There's a bunch of, to interrupt you, and finish this one point real quick. There's a bunch of times that Penn used to have to reach out to me and be like, hey, yo, bro, you wildin' right now. Like, yo, you gotta chill out.
Like, yo, so what do you
and I'll be like, all right, man, let me chill the fuck out. Let me delete this shit. Ain't leave it alone.
All right, well, I have to call the motherfucker like, yo, son, what are you doing? What you doing, bro?
Yeah.
I was always like, my biggest fear of like that side of the culture was how much everybody's willing to come at you. They just say whatever they want to say and whatnot. Do you find like in your position you get more or less of that kind of stuff?
Like coming at me how? Like what? Like
your criticisms or comments, like, you know, like the shit people do on social media.
I mean, you can't really let it get to you. Like as a person that's always evolving and shit, like if somebody say something that, like, you can tell, normally you can tell if something is just hate, right, or like a real critique, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell there's a difference between just let me just talk
the
shit
energy
because
is very
whatever.
different. The energy is very different.
And sometimes in the hate there's a
nugget maybe.
Right. So, you know what I mean? Like it's you gotta wear a lot of this shit. When you do shit that's in the public, if you're in the public eye, it come to church or you. I'm not saying I like people saying bad shit about me. That's not true.
Nah.
But if there's something in there, legitimate that I could take out of it and be like, yeah, I might have been a little over here. I could tone this back, dial this back. Like, you learn it and you go, like, it's the same shit with music, man. Like, you always gonna critique, you always gonna be critiqued. Anytime you do things, you put yourself out there for public consumption, there's gonna be somebody saying something. Everybody ain't gonna be like, oh, I love you, you're the greatest. Yeah. Most people gonna say some dumb shit about you.
Yeah.
It just is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the nature of how things work, and you gotta have a tough skin, yo. I don't mean I like it, but it is what it is. Like Jay said it, you know what I mean? What you eat don't make me shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever, man, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, say if there was just an overwhelming consensus of one thing, then you might have to take heed of it. Like, if it's like 100 people commenting the same shit, it's like, all right, that's probably valid.
Fact.
That's probably valid.
Fact.
But if it's like there's just somebody saying, like, there's a bunch of comments, and then there's always gonna be a few negative comments. Period. That's just how it works. Like this, that's just how it works. Period. This shit trash. This shit. I'm like, yo, bro, why did you watch it? Man, you don't like. That's the funny shit. Like, you don't have to watch. Yo, nowadays, like, your views are like, that's the currency, bro. If you don't like what a motherfucker doing, just don't watch it. Like, you comment and you still helping motherfuckers out because you commenting on what you like. It doesn't even add up to me.
Yeah, nah.
So you sat there and watched it to critique, and then jumped on and typed about it. I mean, not like it takes that much to do right now, but at the same time, it's like you care.
Right.
Well, they also want that response a lot of the time.
What happened?
They're trying to like bait a response.
Of course, and I I'm not that guy.
He's not. I used to be.
Yeah, he
I'm
would
not
do
I'm
that.
not anymore.
And like, and people don't understand this ain't, and like, I'm a grown ass man, but like, yo, especially if there's somebody that I know or somebody, but this is 98% of the time not that, but if there's somebody that I can know who they are, I'm gonna talk to you when I see you. That's a fact.
Yep.
That's always how I've been.
Yeah.
I talk to you when I see you. It don't necessarily, and that don't necessarily mean I'm gonna punch you in the face when I see you, but we're gonna have a conversation about whatever that is.
Yeah.
Not saying that, yo, I'm gonna do some old tough guy shit, but we're gonna talk about whatever that is, because I'm gonna see you. And let's see what it is when I see you.
Right.
Like that, you know what I mean?
So we're not confusing words and getting things
misconstrued. Because things can get misconstrued easily.
Things can get misconstrued. On the internet, it's hard to tell inflection and tone. Right.
You gotta read shit mad times to be like there's times you might have thought somebody was talking shit and it was actually bigging you up, but it's the way it was. Yeah. So that
happened to me a lot with that Rhetoric Ramirez battle. I did not I'm not proud of that performance. I took a loss in that battle. I don't think that I did my best. I actually gained a lot of fans on that battle. Like, it's weird. You know what I mean?
That's Southpaw?
No, that was that Southpaw? No, I thought that it was downtown when we were...
the Chinese bar?
Damn, I forget what was the spot.
Well, fuck, let's not go off the topic.
Right. But the point is, I had a lot of people that, like, I didn't understand I felt like they were, because I looked at the performance as bad, I looked at even compliments as like, you being sarcastic.
You trying to play me? Like, what you mean? Like, nah, man.
And I gained wild fans from it, and people would be like, yo, nah, I'm being dead ass. I fuck with you off this battle. And I'm like, fuck, like, what a dick, what an ass face I was.
And it's sometimes, and that's the thing too, like, you can't jump out the building anytime somebody say something. Yeah. You never know what they really mean.
And you know how many times I've had also happen online that somebody's like, yo, bro, I was being sarcastic while I was being joking. I'm like, bro, I don't know you to know when you're being sarcastic or when you're joking. Right. How would I know that you're being sarcastic and joking with me?
Exactly. Like,
we're not best buddies or like go back. You're a guy I met online. I don't know when you're joking, when you're being sarcastic.
This dude DM'd me after a few days ago after the math shit came out, the expert opinion shit, right? So this dude DM'd me, and my thing is, if it comes across and I got the time, I'll answer. I don't care. I'll talk. I don't give a fuck. I'm not no fucking.
You're not Rihanna.
Yeah, bro. Whatever. So I mean, I'm not saying I answer everybody, but if So he had said something, because there was a comment about when we was talking about who brought the thug shit to hip hop, something like that. Don't misquote me. It's on the episode, whatever. And motherfuckers was like, that's when motherfuckers start talking about 50. They like 50 Cent.
Right. When Bizarre said the thing about that when 50 would show up to show with like people in the crowd.
Right. So anyway, so this dude hit me and was like, yo, you know what, 50? He said something. He had a valid point about. I said, yeah. I said, I feel you. I said, but first of all, I ain't the one that said it. I wasn't the one that said it.
But showed in their Hulu series that they would bring their people from Staten Island.
That was super valid.
I'm pretty sure that MOP, I could have sworn, used to show up for all MOP shows. But it was a thing.
But when you having a conversation,
nobody's gonna sit there and be like, hold on,
but
actually,
right. So he was like, yo, you know, so dude like, yo, Beanie Siegel, and I was like, yeah, I said, you got a valid point, and whatever, and that was cool. Like, he ain't say nothing crazy to me, but then he said something about, he said the dude say something about, because I was drinking Douce. He said sometimes the Douce is the reason you don't say some shit like that. But the way he said it, the way he typed it, like it looked like I said, you're reading it, and it looked like he called me a dunce.
Like you don't know how to act on Douce.
What the fuck? But then when before I was like, oh, then I read it and I was like, oh, he didn't mean that, he meant this. Yeah. All right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you a lot of times you just flop the head like, what the fuck is he? Like, come on, son.
I used to be like that.
I'm good, son.
I'll still go crazy on Facebook with somebody. Don't let a white person get out of pocket with me. I will wow the fuck out of them.
This motherfucker's Facebook page is the fucking.
It is highly entertaining.
But you know what? It's a lot of
entertainment.
People, everybody always is like makes a point to like be like, yo, you are crazy on Facebook. I'll be wanting to talk, but I don't want shit to go crazy on me. And I'm like, yo, fam, it's always like our friends and like homies. And I'm like,
just to get the notifications.
you know, so speaking about battle rap and right, like there's like a lot of like noise right now circling around GTX, and we had Lush One on the show, and he explained like you know, everything that they're trying to do. He actually broke down the, because you know, this is we had a conversation off camera, obviously on the phone, and I was questioning how the royalties thing would work, because I was like, you know, depending on the cuts, depending on if it's actually a good look or not, I felt like, you know what I mean, like, because those things are important, you know. And but he came on the show and he like broke down everything, and I was like, yo, that actually does sound like really dope. And then there was a press conference in Cali for I think it was for Disaster versus Crooked Eye, right?
Yeah.
And you were in the building for that. And
yes,
on stage, could you tell us a little bit about what, like, what's
I mean,
what was that weekend like?
Yeah.
How about that? So we not asking for any.
No, I mean it was a weekend, man. You feel me? Like we wanted to have a show, have a little pageantry around, you know, the announcement and stuff, and show, you know, that, you know, motherfuckers is back and really trying to make an impact. That was pretty much it in a nutshell. Nothing crazy. I mean, that weekend was cool though. I like, you know, my touchdown. I as soon as I touched down, I start doing all the rap shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I do. You know my reputation. Pen is everywhere.
Pen is everywhere.
You can look at it. I'm a million videos. I'm in everything all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's a gift. But nah, so I touched down. I went to it's just funny. I was on Facebook and I seen Rusty, my man Rusty Jukes.
Oh,
shout to Rusty
Jukes.
You know what I mean? So he like, y'all got the, I'm out here, I'm performing in LA, and I was like, oh shit, I'm like, where you at? So someone was in like Pomona or some shit. Yeah, he was in Pomona, which is like 45 hours, about 45 minutes out. And I was just like, all right. So I hit my peoples up. I'm like, yo. So they showed me the Pomona. We had 2 shows. Went to this weed event, did a fucking signing. Like, I just popped out. We just out there.
Popping out.
And we did the show in this Mexican hood in Pomona and shit later on. But he did the show. I didn't perform. I was just there. But motherfuckers was spreading love. Because, you know, Rebel Arms got like a presence out there and shit. Niggas fuck with us out there and shit. So, yeah. So we did that shit. That was cool. Whatever.
You've been also going out there for a long time.
Yeah, I've been going, like, LA is like second home, man. You know, I've been going back and forth to LA for shit, 20 years, man. So got a lot of satellites out there. Got a lot of family out there and shit. Like, niggas hold me down and shit.
Did you link up with Crooked? I mean, because he was.
I mean, I just seen him at the event. You know what I'm saying? But shout to the bro and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't really.
Any predictions? I feel like
for Diz and Crooked Eye?
Diz and Crooked Eye. I feel like, personally speaking, I think that Crooked Eye is one of the MCs from the industry that might be capable of actually pulling it off and putting on a good performance. Especially because the platform isn't like you know, like when Joe Budden's battle.
He set the bar so high.
Joe Budden set that bar so high, right? They were trying to do it on their own with like guys who never did a battle rap event, and they did it on stage with microphones, with a wire, like it was just a lot of things that I just like. I don't think that if you were to ask anybody who's in battle rap and was involved in battle rap and blowing up battle rap,
but it's odd because I had actually did consultation for Total Slaughter. People don't know that, right? But it was more of when they were when they were from when they was filming this shit. Like I was out in LA again, I was back and forth forever. So I went to the office. I think, what was it? Executive producer Montreal, I think his name was. Yeah, so, you know, I pulled up to the office. You know, they just asking me questions. You know, just giving them input because, you know, I'm a part of the community and shit. You know what I mean?
Part of the community.
They cut a little.
I'd say it's not even arguable that you belong on the Mount Rushmore of battle rap.
I mean, you know, let some people sell it, man. You know, I feel like I did a lot. I feel like I did an awful lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For the doing of the like, I would say, like, for me, for Mount Rushmore, like I said before, it would be you, Lush, Smack, and like for the fourth person, I might like want to throw International P on there. To be perfectly
International
honest.
P?
Yeah, because before you guys, right, like it was like he was like the famous battle rap host before. I mean, right, like he hasn't done any since, but like that was a big moment.
I seen him
for
on
the
Orange
culture.
Is the New Black.
And
I saw him on that shit. You ain't see him on that
nah, I
shit?
didn't.
Yeah,
I don't watch that show.
I mean, that shit been off for a few years, but I was just watching and. No, that's fucking International P. He had a speaking role and all that. He was,
that's dope.
But yeah, anyway, shout out to him. But yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, nah, I think for me that's where
that's love. I mean, shit, man. You know,
nobody did more for the people coming after and the people at the time than you guys. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's arguable. You can see, like, well, I mean, the way I understand it is y'all kind of popularized the current format, and everybody's doing that to this day. A lot of people making bread off of this in this era, and it's everywhere around the world, pretty much. I mean, if you look at the numbers, Russia and Mexico and other places be getting off of what their twists are on it, it's like everywhere. And from what I can tell, looking at history, it really does stand back to a lot of what y'all are doing.
That's a fact. I mean, it really, we really set the pace, and we had the most innovations. Like all the stuff that's like standard now, you could trace that shit directly back to what we was doing, and you know what I mean, even to the streaming and shit like that.
I was gonna say,
all that
one of our last interviews before we took a break last weekend, and last Wednesday and this Wednesday, because clearly Holden's out here and we're doing this in person. But we were interviewing Paulie Hustle a couple weeks ago, and he kind of actually educated me on the fact that like they were streaming When Animals Attacked, live streaming, but not pay-per-view. We still were the first ever battle rap pay-per-view event with G-Tech, with Follow the Leader event, which, by the way, fitting fucking title.
I mean,
for like
I knew.
It ended up becoming the thing up until Caffeine and Twitch got involved. Like that was the like.
And people still do pay-per-views. Like look at Rap. They still host pay-per-views.
Exactly.
RBE still does pay-per-views.
Everybody else still does pay-per-view because everybody else don't got contracts with $1 million apps,
right?
You know, or $1 billion apps at this point.
And a lot of them, it's still pay-to-view after.
Yeah. But the point is, we did pay-per-view first before anybody. But shouts to Paulie, and When Animals Attacks, they were live streaming before anybody, right? Because like I don't even remember anybody else live streaming back then. Because who was even streaming? He was doing Uviddy things, not Uviddy. Was it Uviddy? Or
I know I think I was
Uviddy. I was Uviddy.
Yeah.
He was doing something on whatever was the main streaming platform back then. Like he would do things with him and his ladies, and then on his show Real Deal, and then he would do that live stream through his profile when he would do When Animals Attack events. Now he did fuck these shit.
This shit just destroyed, I cop him to rock him. So look the shit.
Yeah,
it's
a
dub, man. But
bringing our Jordans up to the. I got
Oh shit. Yeah, man, we outside. Look at this.
Outside. I got look at this. All these things, fam.
It's like that means you
hurt.
Listen, that's how they supposed to look, man. When people kicks is too clean, I don't trust them.
Yo, bro.
I mean, keep your shit right, but you wear them, bro. You don't. I don't keep them in a fucking.
I wear my drip.
I wear all my shit.
I don't put any of my drip in a glass container and be like, yo, never do I ever. No, I rock my shit.
Listen, I'll be on this.
And actually, looking up sneakerhead videos, there's been evidence, especially of like people who buy like old sneakers that have just been like kept without wearing, and the like soles crumble.
Yeah,
and they
if you don't, most of my kicks is 10 years plus, probably most of my kicks. I got hundreds and hundreds. I haven't even actively bought sneakers in years. Like shit, pandemic shit real. Let's be real. I ain't running around buying sneakers all day. Fuck all that.
Right.
But they fucking deteriorate. I have my lightning forwards. Them shits is, if you look online, them shits like 3,500. Them shits is grails, bro.
Literally,
I was wearing them to fucking show the show just because it's glue.
Right.
These shits is 15, 16, 17 years old.
You kept
like,
them though, right? Because you can still fix them too.
You thought I threw them out. But I'm saying, but even still, like that's what I learned. Like this shit ain't really got as much value. Like shit is fly, whatever, shit drippy and all that, but.
Yeah.
Like, son, they gonna fuck up anyway. They gonna yellow out regardless.
They will yellow out regardless. I was so upset. I got a pair of customized Gucci Hirachis, right? Like they all white, and the middle stripe in the tongue has like the Gucci colors in the stripe, like the green and the red, and I didn't realize that underneath, like because of the mesh, the fabric will yellow, and I was just like, "Fuck, bro, yeah." You
can't do nothing about it,
and you can't do nothing about it.
That's why I don't give a fuck. I rock my shit.
Yeah, rock your shit, man.
I rock my shit. That's what it is.
There was somebody who pointed out to me that or pointed out online. I think recently, Lush One might have popped out with those same Lightning 4s, and somebody commented on. If it wasn't Lush, it was somebody else who's along our drip level, right? Because there's a very those of us who get drippy, it's a secret society. All we ask is trust. You know what I mean? There's very few of us, and we know because we identify each other. You know what I'm saying? And Destro, who used to judge battles for us, he said under the person's comments, "Oh, those are the Lightning 4s. I've never seen anybody else with them besides me, Poison Pen, and now you to like Lush, or it might have been like somebody else that's close to our circle of friends that be drippy." And I was just like,
he might have had the joints that came out like they just came out like last year.
Word.
So those
right.
Nigga, those shits is not the grails, bro. Stop it.
Not the grails.
They were still hard though. They were still hard.
Yeah.
But nah, you ain't got those.
Word.
You ain't got those.
Original run shit.
Come on, man, don't do that. Let's talk different, man.
Talk different to the drip gods.
Listen, man. Ain't nothing wrong with the
Holden sitting here quiet as fuck. Like, listen.
Ain't nothing wrong with the re-release.
Like,
trust me. There's nothing wrong with the re-release.
I was just sitting there going, hold up. Sneakers get dirty, and that's just a fact of life. Bro, my shoes got dirty, and I'm be googling how to clean this shit because I decided to start buying shoes. I haven't got to the less expensive ones yet. We're getting there.
All right, man. Listen, we all got our own unique way that we get down. So
exactly.
And then you find out the shit get real dirty real quick, and you're like, okay. And then you gotta look up cleaning the shit, and I'm like trying to clean this shit. It's not coming out like nice and new again. I'm like,
it'll never be original.
That's just how it is.
Nothing is ever.
But that's what you gotta accept with sneakers anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, you can keep your shit up, but
you could.
There's never gonna be.
Man, there's a lot. Like I look at.
And I don't have to answer for that shit.
The crease protectors that cats be wearing. I'm like, fam. Is that uncomfortable on your foot? It looks like it probably would be very uncomfortable.
Because you can't bend.
Now I can't bend my toes.
Come on, bro.
Like,
I'm not doing all
much,
that,
bro. I'm not walking like this. I'm not walking.
Come on, man. That's ridiculous.
That's crazy, man. It's too much. Too much.
Nah, I find the shoe talk a lot more fascinating because I started learning about shoes. So I'd be like trying to track what's hot and what's not. Because when you go Google shoes, it's just a lot of models and colors, and you're like, I don't actually know if any of this is cool or not inherently by looking at it.
For a beginner, you can just go to Flight Club and just look at what they got.
Flight Club.
That's for beginners, but just if you just have an idea what's you know what I mean. Just
which, by the way, Flight Club, I don't want to like false credit, so correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't we in Grind Time East Coast really early with our Flight Club support? Like,
yeah, we shout to Abacus.
Abacus he worked there?
He worked for them. I don't remember exactly what he did, but yeah.
He worked for them. And he would be at all of our events. He was one of our judges. And that might have been just a few years after they started, or was it like right around the time that they started?
No, they was around for a while by that time.
Okay.
They've been around for a little minute. They've been around probably pushing 20 years already.
Oh, word. So they were like, at least right 15 after plus. The towers dropped. Type shit.
Yeah, definitely. Like around that time.
So that means that they were almost close to a decade when we came around.
Right, they've been around.
Right. Okay. Copy.
But we did.
I lose track of time.
We had a lot of. Come on, man. Almost a lot of the first, bro. Like
we had a lot of firsts.
The athletes, the rappers.
Athletes showing up to our events.
You know what I'm saying? Like Ron Artest was one of our first supporters. I mean, Metal World Peace.
Work.
You know what I'm saying?
Shouts to Metal
we had Paulie.
I do not want no smoke with that man. So
yeah, he came out to support the GTX thing too. I think I posted it on the gram and shit.
Oh, that's dope.
He was out there for that.
Like years later type shit.
Yeah.
He was also Lush One mentioned in our follow-up interview with him that he was the first big person to big up Grind Time back in the day.
Like a Moss Jotun battle or something crazy like that, right?
Some crazy shit. And he was the reason that like they ended up on World Star.
No.
He was the first one to blow. The first celebrity to co-sign battle rap back then, which was at its infancy.
But Direct was the reason that the battles got on World Star.
Yeah, Direct was the reason.
So
Direct, he had a relationship with Q, and he did mention that when we interviewed him. Shouts to Direct.
Because World Star was building off of our content. That was early. We were so ahead. Like we were so ahead that. Man, it was difficult to it's difficult. Like you can't. It's intellectual property is one thing, and you don't realize when you're creating the industry, there's no like now there's a structure to shit now because it came after
the blood, sweat, and tears.
We were the fucking the what you call the dudes on the train. We was the pioneers and shit. We was the one that was.
Yes.
That was paving the way so everybody else could. So. We, honestly, we didn't protect ourselves like we should have.
We didn't know no better.
And because all the shit we did, everybody did the same thing later, and it took the fuck off. But it's like, but by the time you got that, you don't have to come back for none of us because you already got what you needed. All the guys that we developed.
Listen, they're
you know what I'm saying? Like,
because Poison Pen is very diplomatic, and he does not. And I'm not gonna name names, right? But the truth is, right, as far as what it is that happened is that we pioneered a whole bunch of shit, a league worth of talent, ideas, venues. There's leagues that came after us that used the same venues that we use. Everything that we use. They use the same venues, the same talent, the same ideas.
First of all, nobody was getting venues like that out here, bro.
No, nobody.
That was
because we were and why
we was those guys.
Mention why actually, because back then it was hard to get venues for hip hop period in New York City because we were going through the dark ages of hip hop in New York City where the police was on venues' necks so hard about hip hop. And we were just beginning to fight the maybe about 6 to 10 years worth of racist discrimination at clubs of no jeans and sneakers allowed, only shoes. I mean, which is like they were purposely trying to get us to not show up.
We had to deal with bullshit. Even I could tell you stories from booking the battles of them fucking suck ass niggas that drawn wild races. But motherfuckers kept giving them business. Like that's a whole nother story though. But due to my travels as an indie artist, like I had venues in Tuck from, I was doing Q5 mega shows and all that shit. I was booking shows. I was booking shows from like 20 years old type shit. You
Actually,
know what I'm saying?
if I'm
Like,
not mistaken, we spoke about this. When you were at the underground radio, and that was located in the Bronx. You guys threw events there.
yeah,
right.
We've been throwing events forever. So like and that's one of the reasons that PH had hit me up. He was like, "Yo, son, like I need."
So this is before battles, right?
This is before battle rap. This is around. We're talking.
Well, this is right when we was starting to build.
Starting.
That's
to
when it
do
was starting.
underground rap.
No, I'm talking about. No, I'm talking about this is starting.
Okay.
The battle rap shit.
Okay.
This is the grind time.
You're talking about grind time
shit.
era.
But you're still
Right.
like throwing
I'm talking
events
about
and
you
stuff
throwing
prior to
events.
that, 'cause, like,
Yeah,
you've
yeah,
been in
yeah.
music for what, the 90s,
When you
right?
first started.
I mean, I dropped my first single in 2001.
Which means you would have been in it.
Yeah, but I was
You were
running
already
around
running
the streets. I've been running around.
this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I've been running around since. Yeah, of course. But yeah, I started dropping music in like 2001, 2002. But even then, I was doing the hook.com battles. I was renting out Wetlands in 2000. We was doing that with the company.
Wetlands is a
the
legendary
hook.com.
venue in New York City.
So we was already tapped in doing events. You know what I'm saying? So getting venues wasn't that difficult for me. That's why everybody had to come through us to get like any major. Like there was little spots to hit out like that would do shit. But like if you want to get something of any magnitude,
Facts.
like for a strong period of time, you had to go through us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Smacking them had to go through us for their venues. Look at all those early venues. There was just the venues that we
absolutely.
had. Look at Red Breed.
Rare Breed.
That whole
definitely.
that was when I stopped doing the events at Drum. ARP jumped in and started doing the events in the
Shouts
same
to ARP,
spot.
right? But like ARP basically followed our entire mold after, right? Like he would book events at Drum, which was like our location, our last events. He would book the talent that we had at G-Tech. He would then do pay-per-view the way we did.
I mean, but
right?
a lot
like,
of, but that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is,
it's not a knock,
and it's all good. And look,
all good. Like,
but everybody built empires off of the foundations that we laid. That's a fact.
And we caught all the bruises breaking through those walls.
If motherfuckers want to deny that, they lying to themselves.
Yeah,
I'm not taking no shot nobody. But this is all
absolutely not.
documented.
And I'm
facts.
I think that I've heard of.
So it sounds like you did all the hard work building the relationships, which is really, because like, I imagine that once the venues got battles coming regular, they're used to it. Now they want this to keep coming forever from a business, from like their side of it.
Yeah.
It's New York City. It's New York City. It's different for us. It's different for us than it is in other places.
They get wishy-washy. Sometimes they don't want certain. Sometimes they don't want certain clientele. But that like I was saying, but due to my relationships,
okay,
a lot of people would make exceptions because of me. Like no cap.
So,
like they're like, I don't really fuck with this shit, but Pen, we know you good. Like we know your shit gonna be solid. We ain't gotta worry about XYZ. And for the most part, and like,
I'm sorry I'm laughing because I started having a conversation about I was talking about I had a back and forth with a Caucasian man online, and I started talking about that they usually don't give me great disses. Still to this day, one of the greatest disses I've ever had given to me was by Mike Phenom, who told me I look like Swizz Beatz with split teeth. To which I said, "Sir, bravo, sir. That is a knockout line." I've said it to people who like are gigging on me, like, "Yo, just use this." You know what I mean? Like that as well. That was fire. And then in talking with him, I started thinking about that event, and I started being like, "Yo, didn't somebody get punched at that event?" I'm like, "Damn, somebody did." And I started thinking about it more. I'm like, "Yo, we had a lot of fights at our events.
We had, but we kept it under wraps."
No,
like,
we did.
Like it wasn't. We didn't broadcast
it could have been way fouler.
Because it could have been way fouler. It could have been other shit. It could have been way fouler. And we
kept things under wraps.
Because sometimes niggas do dumb shit. Like I remember when QP came out here. Nigga came out here to for a night. It was for the red, not a Red Breed.
For the Smack, no?
Nope, not Smack. Nope.
He came out here for G-Tech days.
No, this is after that. He came out to Battle Marv 1 for Black Ice.
Copy.
And they did an event not too far from this is my hood. They did an event in my hood, like walking distance from where I live at. This motherfucker come through with his little pea shooter. He in the club with his little, so acting like, yo, cause niggas, he was like, yo, cause niggas might try to press me. Team, how many niggas? Whoa. We got right after that, but it's like, yo, son, so I literally,
a conversation was happening.
I had to come for I'm like, yo, bro, I love you. Like, you stayed, I'm like, yo, don't mention this like that. You stayed at my house before.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, son.
Don't disrespect.
I'm like, yo.
And I'm a head of the organization that you're talking about.
Right, and I'm like,
have some.
I'm like, yo, you know, I say, I see what he had on the, he was in the room. He had his little strap on the bed. I'm like, yo, son. I'm like, you know, I live right around the corner, right?
Bro.
Like, this is my hood. Like
that's not a.
That
it's always that.
It's
that's the worst move that you could do when out of town. A life lesson for anybody who's watching this who don't know, right? When you out of town and you're not in your home, you're in other people's homes.
Right.
Respect people's homes, yo.
But my thing is,
have a common decency, respect people's homes, and you'll be fine. If you show respect to people in their home, the chances are you're not gonna get disrespected, unless you did something else prior to showing up.
But my thing is, all right, if you feel like you need to protect yourself, I can't tell you how to protect yourself.
Not do
but
that.
you walking around like that means something.
Like they stopped inventing guns when they
bro,
made yours.
You in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn?
Bro,
are you serious?
Like Jadakiss said a great line one time about like, yo, when you tell me where you from, all you telling me is how far you are from your gun. You know what I mean? Like
that's all I never. Where that come from?
I mean, it might not have been Jada. It might have been somebody else. That was a hard bar. But it's a true bar. You know what I'm saying? Like yo, fam. And even if you do have your gun on you, you're still far from everything else.
Right.
You're far from your security of home. Right. You're far from the rest of your guns. You're far from.
But shout like we got no, it wasn't nothing. But the whole point was like these events
things could get crazy.
They should go left at any like
they could go crazy.
There's been a lot of left events, but things could have been a lot worse because But luckily, we do carry ourselves with some we do have a bit of respect, so it's not things could be a lot worse than they actually were. Right. So somebody called a little whatever got tightened up a little bit, and that's all it was. It ain't turned to something else.
Exactly.
Like whatever, bro.
Better that than the other option.
Right. So I mean, you know,
men fight.
But that's an element. Okay. But that's an element in New York City, man. And hip hop. Let's not act like even if we try to bring positive things to hip hop is a street culture.
Street culture, born out of the street.
Right.
Right.
So street things happen in street culture. Not saying that you looking for that, but sometimes shit happens. Right. And you live in it's New York, like.
No, so by the way, we are in.
Oh, we're in.
Should tell people where we're at.
It's right there. Look,
Christopher Biggie Wallace courts.
Yeah.
So the courts are the Wallace thing.
Well, that's the best. That's the basketball court.
But it's still.
I mean, this is still hood. So he from up the block.
Right. So Biggie if you
want to walk over there, I'll walk you over there.
Oh, we gonna walk over there later.
How much time you got?
He's got to get to his bus by 9.
I gotta be.
Okay, you gotta be at the bus at 9.
9.
I like at this station.
We gotta be at Port Authority at 9. The bus leaves at 9:30.
Yeah, it's like about
45 minutes to get to Midtown.
Yeah, you good.
And we're also across the street from Vice Versus once again. Rest in peace, Vice Veezy, EOW legend. We're right across the street from his mural that is still there, untouched. And that's love because they hit all the other walls, but they let Vice live. Everything around it still got smashed. And the car that just drove by was playing Notorious.
Is there somebody that marks things as safe or something in that world? Like, how do people know not to touch something?
I think it's a respect thing. I think it's a respect for the art. Like, you see that's like if it was just a plain wall or whatever. And this ain't like back in the day when motherfuckers is like
buffing.
Yeah, like that shit don't really. I'm pretty sure maybe in some. Oh my God. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that'd have been bad. That'd have been real bad. I'd have cried. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this ain't like back in the fucking the 80s and shit where it was on that. Hey, homeboy, you buff my tag. Like
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm assuming. I mean, I'm not a writer. But I'm assuming it's like, okay, if they see some like a real piece up here. Like,
Yeah.
why I'm gonna disrespect that piece?
Also,
unless it's somebody,
to be
you know what I
fair,
mean?
right? Vice lived not far from here, if I'm not mistaken. Right down the block.
That white, right? You see where that co-op?
Co-op thing
Yeah.
is.
Right next to it. The next building right next
The
to it.
next
to the
building
right.
right next to it.
That's his window right there. Right next to the P&S co-op.
Right.
That's his
And
window.
he lived literally right around the corner. And anybody who knows Vice knows that Vice is a man of the people. He was always out and about. He was. We were talking with Tech, and Tech gave a story of last time that he saw him, and immediately is like, he was telling him that he saw what he was doing with something, and Vice was like, I like that assassin. Which, when you hear assassin, we all know that's Vice's word. Vice's word.
That's Vice's word, man. He's like, assassin.
I remember one time at New York City summers, right? I caught some flies in the crib. Like there was a fly in the crib, and I went to swat them, and I caught the fly in the hole of the, like I swatted him so hard that your man's body got stuck in the hole of the fly swatter. I took a picture of it, I posted online, and I'm like, cause I'm a fly assassin. And he came on and he was like, fly assassin. And I just heard his voice in my head reading the words online. Like I knew, you know what I mean? And so, him, that this is all just to say that, like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people in the area are familiar with who he is. When they see that mural, they it's like, again, right around the corner from where he lived, a few steps, a few yards from where he lived. I'm pretty sure the people in the area also know who the band is, and that's why the respect is what it is. The same reason why a lot of murals of people who aren't famous but are in the hood, like it's their hood where the mural is, nobody touches it because everybody knew that man or woman, and they just want to pay respect by like never making sure that the mural is never touched or disrespected.
Like if you got good karma, people don't respect the mural. Sometimes there's been some murals that got disrespected, but it was more controversial people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like unfortunately they had did that to Prodigy shit a few times.
Yep.
But a lot of people weren't cool with a lot of shit he said, and that's I guess that's on them. But I mean, fucking the mural up, that's something else, man. Like,
I learned a lesson when Prodigy just passed away, because I wasn't a fan also of the things that he said, and like I spoke disparagingly, and you know what, like my homies checked me, it was like, yo, you could have more proof than that, bro. And like hearing that was just like, yo, you know what, I could have more proof than that. Like there's no need, you know what I'm saying? So you learn. I went to
the service, man. You know what I'm saying?
Work. He was a great MC, yo. Great MC, one of the greatest produced out of New York ever. You know what I mean? For sure. Definitely up there. Oh, hey, we have some pretty lit shit happening. There's
guys on.
Okay, it wasn't a full gang. Yo, in the Bronx, it'd be a full gang. Like anytime you see one, uptown, anytime you see one, there's a whole block behind them coming. The first one that you saw is the leader, and they let him ride up front because he knows what time it is, or he's gonna do some directives for the rest of the crew if he sees boys and whatnot. And then you see an army of like, and New York City never used to be New York City is if we were if there's a motorcycle that could be representative of New York City culture, I think that the sports bikes were what represented our city more than anything for a long time, right? Like especially with Rough Riders and all that. But New York City recently has become dirt bike, quad.
Yeah, they be on them ATVs heavy.
ATVs, yeah, heavy. And I'm not gonna lie, even though it didn't start with us, right? Philly was doing it before us, heavy. I love that it finally came to New York. Like I love that it's here and that we're embracing that.
That shit's not in Montreal.
Nah. Y'all too fancy?
Nah, more like traffic laws is that shit. Like you can't have lights on the bottom of the cars.
I mean, all that shit is illegal here. That's not legal.
But they're gonna come through on ticket quarter time of the year and be impounding your cars and everything. So if they see you, they're gonna get you and they're gonna take that away from you.
That's the other thing is that these kids. They don't keep their shit. They have garages.
Ain't none of that shit legal.
All their shit is hidden. That's why, like, everything is
if
illegal.
they see you, you're losing it.
This is still the other thing also happening here, and that's why they have the gang, and again, that's why the guy's in the front, because he's gonna be the one to take the cop on the joyride and outrun him while everybody else leaves, goes to another location, and keeps on riding. The point is that it's not legal, but we're just New York. New York is the home of rule breaking,
Facts.
and we perfect rule breaking. We're very, like when we were talking to you about the bud, right? Like right now, New York just became legal, right? And people are now selling bud in the streets, even though they technically speaking shouldn't, right?
Outside with tables and shit.
The workaround in New York, which the government of the city government and the state government are upset about. They're literally in the middle of trying to figure out a law to pass to correct it, which is the way that we're getting around the law right now is I'm not selling weed, I'm accepting donations. To which cops are just like caught in a catch-22 of like, as long as you don't have more than what you're supposed to have, right? It'd be like me taking out my personal stash. You said I could have 1.5 ounces on me, or up to 2 ounces. I forget what the number is.
I think it might be 2 or 3 or some shit like that.
Yeah, two or three. And so along with that is like, you're gonna tell me I can't give my friend some bud, and then my friend can't give me some bread as an appreciation for the donation. It's just New York is the king of
that sounds like when motherfuckers was mixtape shit, and it was like, yo, they was like, nah, so you can buy the sticker. We're not selling the mixtapes. You can buy the sticker, and we're gonna give you the mixtape for free. Nigga, nobody buy.
That's what is that why part of why stickers be everywhere?
Nah, well, the stickers that was a huge part. That was a huge part of the street culture back in the day. But when mixtapes, when they started cracking down on the mixtapes were never legal. They were all, it's copyright material. Yeah. So mixtapes, by essence, are illegal anyway. But obviously, people were still selling mixtapes. But when they started cracking down, like I think around after them Napster times and all that, and they was raiding spots like the motherfuckers was selling drugs, like motherfuckers selling mixtapes. So they started cracking down and shit and running in spots like downtown, all over the city, Canal Street, everywhere, Hood 10th, everywhere. But they started trying to make a loophole. Like, okay, we're not selling a mixtape, but we'll have this. You'll buy this sticker, and we'll give you whatever DJ mixtape along with it because we're not selling the mixtape. You know what I mean? So that was just a workaround.
Yeah, New York again with
there's always a workaround.
There's a workaround everything. New Yorkers are gonna be the first ones. Listen, when we were all in the middle of COVID quarantine, we just heard that they were gonna be giving vaccine passes to the people who get vaccinated, and the immediate next sentence I heard from the homies was, "Oh, we gotta bootleg that." Immediately.
New York, man.
New York, man.
We're always trying to get over, man.
We are the kings of skirting around the rules, breaking the rules, and figuring out a way.
Look at how motherfuckers cross the street, bro. You can just look at.
Yeah, we don't. Everywhere else, jaywalking is illegal. In New York City, cops will watch an army of people jaywalk and not say anything because that is New York City.
And it's still illegal.
It's still illegal. It's against the law here too. Again, right? It's one of those things. Like it's in the laws. Jaywalking is illegal here.
Like that one I'm familiar with back home. You jaywalk like crazy, but like there's a lot of other shit I find like y'all don't have the same level of regard that we do for the legal authorities and consequences in a lot of ways. Like I'll be doing stuff and Flacco will be like, "Why are you doing that?" I'm like, "Well."
We were in the car. We were with Bucky. We were in the back seat, and he put a seatbelt on. in the back.
I respect the Saints.
It's the law out there.
But it's a law and it's my
it's
ticket.
individual law.
So it's not
so
like
he'll
his
get
ticket.
a ticket.
Right.
I learned that shit and that's as of 16. So as of 16 years old, you're being taught, put that shit on because it's your ticket.
In New York
I mean,
City,
your parents would say that shit to you in the car.
We just got to a place in the last 10 years, I think, where the front passenger,
The front passenger,
they'll give you a ticket individually by itself if he doesn't have on.
Yo, I actually got a ticket for that one time coming from.
Crazy.
And it was some dickhead shit because we talking about how motherfuckers don't. You know what was being a dickhead, bro? We was in the city coming from whatever club. We was coming from somewhere, maybe whatever. We was in Midtown. Doesn't matter where we was coming from. And we was right off the corner. Right, me and Bam. Hey yo,
Shouts to Bam.
son. As soon as son peeled off, like we at the corner, this motherfucker dad stops the car. Like, yo, you ain't got the seatbelt. I'm like, yo, motherfucker just pulled out. Like,
Yeah.
what's wrong? And he gave me a ticket. That's the only time. That's the only time it ever happened. But that was Town Square. He's being a dickhead.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I paid that shit. I mean, shit. We'll find out if I. But nah,
We won't.
I got a ticket for that shit one time. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I got a ticket for that shit.
Yeah,
one
and
time.
that just started happening in the
It's
last
like, it's one of them
decade.
Yeah,
things where it's also like-
it was a while.
It was a while.
It was within. It might have been a little more than 10 years ago.
A little bit between. It's, you know what it is. Part of my age, man. I keep on forgetting that like 9/11 was a long time ago.
9/11 was a very
long time.
Bro,
the 90s was like 422 years ago,
there's
bro.
people that are born the year that 9/11 happened, and they can now legally drink.
Just put it into perspective like this. Put it in perspective like this.
And I forget that
Now,
because
Think about it like this.
I wasn't legally able to drink back then, but I was.
Bro, they're full adults that have never seen the 90s.
Right.
That's a wild
And they're adults. Think about it. It's 2022, 2000. I don't even know. I don't know. 2022.
Yeah, you were born in 2000.
You're an adult.
You're an
You're
adult.
a college graduate.
You're a college graduate.
All that shit.
And you don't know the 90s
Don't
at
know
all.
nothing about that
Nothing
shit.
about the 90s. They call it the 19th century, to which I'm like, yo.
Oh, the 1900s.
The 1900s, right? That they
Like,
call it the
that's-
1900s, and I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
y'all disrespectful, but it was the 1900s.
It was.
It's definitely another time.
Back in my day.
Well, it's back in the days before cameras, because like everybody grew up in cameras.
No, it's back in the day before everything was broadcast.
Yeah.
Before we had. Oh,
we had
all,
cameras.
We had all the technologies,
It's just
but
that the
now
camera was up
no,
here.
but now the smartphone invention.
Yeah.
Everything is literally in your fucking pocket, and it's been like that since what? When the iPhone came out, like 07?
07, 08.
So like
yeah.
so
And even then, when it first came out, that first, up until the third one, it took a minute for it to
but
catch.
still, that was like, okay, I could take pictures. I got my camera on me, I got my music on me, I got everything is
I
right
can tell
here.
you as a BlackBerry
So-
person, it took me up until the third iPhone to finally. It was also BlackBerry was
like that.
getting like by the time the iPhone 3 was coming, BlackBerry was like falling off hard.
Yeah,
And
BlackBerry was strong for a minute.
It was strong for a
They had,
minute.
they had good business
That
shit.
pad
I
was
used
so
to-
cracked, yo.
I used to fuck with BlackBerry. That's my
Love
shit.
that pad and
Be-
that little rolling ball.
In the BB messenger and shit.
I actually
BBM was
didn't have
fun.
that.
BBM was fun.
Yeah, that was a moment in time. That was a moment in time.
It was.
Honestly, for a minute, BBM served the same purpose as green text and shit on iPhones, and it had like the same level of cultural impact.
Yeah. For a second, yeah. And like most of my people, like when I traveled, like when I was out, like when I went to England and shit like that, that's how everybody was communicating with BBM and shit like. So I have to just hit them on BBM. Like
In another country, not really running up the phone bill and shit.
that was
That's
like that was the better AIM alternative.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Now we going back to the to the ancient internet shit.
Yo, yesterday
Yup.
when we were at the thing at Vice's event, actually when we were at the session with MVP, I was talking with Wader outside, and he said something about a event that y'all had did together, and I was just like, yo, Pens, like your personalpedia, right? Like not the Wikipedia, not your encyclopedia, your personalpedia of like life situations and the people that you know, right? I think that we on the first interview talk about homie who passed away, the actor that was a big fan of yours,
Bill Paxton?
Bill Paxton?
We might have.
I don't know if we did.
We can always bring it up again.
Yeah, but I think that's like a perfect example. Like Bill Paxton, the actor from he was in Armageddon, no?
He was in a bunch of shit, man. He was in like Predator. Weird Science.
Weird Science is really like the us thing, right?
Yeah.
Like
that's what he came up to me, introducing himself as the guy from Weird Science. I'm like,
yo,
come on, son. I know who you are. Bill Paxton. Yeah. Rest in peace. It was his son actually, but he was still. Like, he came up to me, like, on some regular, like, hey, what's up? And I'm just like, what's his name of Westside? Chet or some shit like that? Chet? Something like that.
Chet on
I think that was his name. Because he was like, yeah, and he was just like, hey, what's up, man? Yo, my son's a big fan of that. I'm Chet from Westside. I'm like,
yo.
Bill Paxton, man.
Yo.
Fucking Bill Paxton, bro.
Yo, that is really cool of him, though.
Yeah.
Because a lot of actors don't like being called by their characters in movies.
That's true.
They're like, yo,
yeah.
I'm X, Y, and Z. I'm not this character.
I could tell you some.
I don't know.
I could tell you some dickhead shit I did in LA. Put a pin in that so we can get back to that. But
no, please.
He was in like, yo, the first, no bullshit. Like the first 3 or 4 times when I first started traveling to LA, like no cap, bro. The first 3 or 4 times I went, I saw somebody that was from Friday.
Every time
I went, I see somebody from Friday. It was fucking crazy.
Who would you? What were the names?
I was in the Roscoe's on Sunset and Gower, and Tiny Lister, rest in peace, Debo. He was up in there, and I'm like, oh shit, and he wasn't maybe he was like not you know bodybuilders they go on and
up
on.
and go up.
So when I see him, I'm like, oh he ain't that big. Like he was a big guy, but like when you see him on it's TV, like
I mean, look, when we were young, right?
Right.
And you saw him in the Rocky movie.
Right. The Hulk Hogan shit.
Hulk Hogan movie.
Yeah.
Right, because it was Hulk Hogan's movie.
Right. But so I seen him. Then one time, I got another story. I had actually. Anyway, that's another story. I bagged somebody that was in a Friday movie. That's another story for another day. Man,
shouts to that young lady.
Yeah, shouts to her. Friday after next. Anyway, I saw. Oh, so one time I was with Bam again. This is like maybe the first.
Shouts to Bam.
We was out there for like whatever All-Star weekend back
Bam
then.
is the bro.
And we was out there. And we was pulling up to this fucking party. Niggas is drunk. Niggas is wild lit. Like we young, bro. This is young. Like we kids.
Young
like
and wildin'.
Yo, fucking Clifton Powell was that.
Wait. Pinky. Word. Yeah.
So Clifton Powell just happened to be like, I don't know if he was going to the club or whatever, but he was right. And we young, stupid as shit. It's kind of like Cameron with the Larry shit with Larry.
Right.
Kind of like that. So I see him and I'm like, but I'm like I said, I'm lit. I'm stupid.
They're getting bigger.
I'm stupid. You know what I'm saying? So I'm lit. Man, we pull up and I see him and I'm like, yo, Pinky, what's up, nigga? Yo, doing the fucking voice and all that shit. Idiotic, bro.
If you was like,
what's up, nigga? Idiotic, bro. And this motherfucker looked at me, but he just looked at me kind of like grunting, like, like he obviously was like, fuck out of here, nigga, but he didn't. You know what I'm saying? He gave me this look like, kind of grumbled out and shit.
Clifton Powell do look like, outside of that role, he's a very classy guy, maybe.
Yo,
you know what I mean? Or
he's
like the hood classy guy, right?
I mean,
like
he was
the guy
in every,
around the hood.
He's like the
like,
Samuel L. Jackson, like maybe one little. Because Samuel L. Jackson do mad blockbusters,
right.
Clifton Powell's in every fucking thing.
Yeah.
But yo, I did that shit, yo. Mad immature. Like I'm a grown man admitting that he was immature, stupid, but like, yo, he was so tight, bro. he looked at me like if he could have did something, he probably would have did something.
Right.
But he just kind of grunted and just kept it moving and shit. But like every time I would go to LA, I would see somebody that was in Friday. Like the first 3-4 times I went out there in a row, like boom, boom, boom. I always saw somebody that was in Friday just randomly somewhere out.
Right.
I'm like, yo, is this what LA's always gonna be? Me just bumping into fucking Friday characters and shit. And then I bagged that shorty and shit, man. But that's another story for another day.
This is the point that I was trying to make, though. Like, you have your personal pedia is like yo, and you've always been very like you've never like I think this was a MO of the first interview we did, right? Back then we had a different name. It was Bridge the Gap. We still weren't Perspectives. Yeah. Back then it was only Holden who was like on the cam. I'd be behind, but I'd be there. Mm-hmm. And like I could tell, like, you know, initially when you like, it took a while to get comfortable for you with Holden, right? I think that it was definitely a matter of like, yo, I'm not here to, which is always been your MO. You're not never been a clout chaser, never been a game level name dropper. You know what I mean?
Like, man, I got the quiet
is always homie and like an alias. You know what I mean? Like the homie West. That I'm like, wait, right? Because I'm like, I don't follow Griselda very much, right?
I know.
Fucking guy, shit. But the point being, like, where I hear West, that wouldn't be my natural. So like my first instinct is like, wait, West, and you're like Side, and I'm like, oh, Westside Gunn, because a person that doesn't listen to them, it goes with the full name. Well, again, right? Like, you're not the type to be name droppy. Clout chasing ever. Never have I ever seen you ever do anything like that.
I feel like you're the if you know, you know kind of guy.
If you know, you know.
Pusha T had a wonderful song with that exact title, man.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
If you know, you know.
Facts. Nah, Pusha's.
We had tennis balls for the wrong sports. What? That's my shit.
It's a great song.
Pusha,
actually, you know what? I feel like Pusha gets a lot of production that I feel like you would.
I would love, yo.
You would love and or Body as well. You know what I mean?
Yo,
like,
a song. I mean, it's
whatever. Numbers on the Board was when I heard that. I was like, this sounds like Poison Pen sound.
Yeah, Push that guy. I don't give a fuck. Push has been consistently one of the nicest niggas out for 20 fucking years.
You know, bro.
Like people, nobody like when they mention all the greats and shit. I mean, he might get mentioned more now, but like.
Nah, he does get mentioned more now. But
Push
I don't
is
think
consistently, even from the Clips days, bro. Push is never whack.
No, I was gonna say
never.
Right, so when I used to do when
lunchtime.
When I was like fresh out of high school, actually I think I was still in high school, and I was in the music industry doing street teaming and shit.
Frontline?
With Frontline, marketing and promotion. Shouts to Sincere, yo.
Shout to Kate Gaines.
Shouts K Gaines, facts. Let me not. Everybody else doesn't know what the K stands for.
I do.
We do.
You know I know.
We do. We know him from way back then, yo. But shouts to Sincere for being like first black man on Black Entrepreneur magazine, for making the first $1 million out of street teaming, always giving opportunities to other black men, always, you know what I mean, like fostering independent business in them. But the point is, back then, right, I used to street team, and shit, what was it that you said?
Well, I did. I mean, I did Priority. You know,
did Priority.
Duck Down, obviously.
Duck Down.
Refugees, Fugees, Wyclef.
No,
but you say you did street team stuff for Wyclef.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Super.
I got. Somebody sent me a picture. My man Eric, Eric. He's a very influential photographer. Like he got. I can't Google him. He got classic.
What was his name?
Eric. His name is Eric Monroe, but he goes by Eric.
Right.
He's not from Toronto, but I don't know where he comes from.
With a dot in his name, or with the word dot?
No, it's like
What's
T dot, like the dot. and then
like a Toronto head,
or-
like TDOT, or like T period.
Listen, I don't remember,
Eric, word.
but he's from Jersey. He's not from Canada. So.
Word.
But whatever. He's a photographer. A lot of classic shit. Like you can look him up. I don't know if I can tell you top of that. But he got a lot of classic photos you've seen from back in the day. He took them. And I was on the ground one day. I got a message. My son sends me a message. Yo, my son's been watching you. Yo, he's talking about battle rap. He was like, yo. And this dude's like, you don't know me like that, but I've seen your development. I've seen your growth. You done came a long way. Like just out the blue. He said, yo, my son's watching battle rap, and I'm like, yo, I seen this dude when he was a kid.
Right.
And this motherfucker sends me a picture. Sends me a picture of me standing outside B Street with the fucking Wycliffe flyers and shit. Sent me a picture like I didn't remember looking like that.
Yo, word, I do not remember.
And I'm just like, and it's so crazy because that's like such a different part of my life.
Right. That it feels like another lifetime, right?
But the fact is, he just sent like we didn't have a conversation. He just sent this like, yo, I see
So
like
cool.
yo. I see what you're doing. You've been doing your thing for the longest. I'm proud of you. I told my son that I seen you back when you was younger than him. And he sends me a picture.
That's crazy. When you were younger than him, right? Like,
Crazy, bro.
That's how long we've been doing this shit.
The street team shit, man. We've been outside.
Right, because the street team shit is still a part of this culture.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if I don't think we could say that it's still a part of
I don't think it's a part of the active
anymore.
culture,
but I'm saying like it was
like
there's
us
aspects of it that have,
but us doing it back then, we were still participating in the culture.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
yeah.
heavy.
I think that there needs to be almost like you're gonna start to see a resurgence of some of that shit because of the saturation of the internet. Like the internet's not working like it's supposed to make littler events get the love, and I'm starting to see people print flyers again.
But see, we always printed flyers.
We always printed flyers.
I always was like, yo, like we gotta hit the street. We was always on that.
Him and me, because we come from that background.
Yeah.
So soon as he gained control, after PH passed him the mantle of president, he elevated Sarah Connor to vice president and gave me the capo position. And you and me you would get flyers, and then I put together a street team, a modern street team back then. And I used to make sure that there was a guy in every borough and hitting the main hubs in every borough. And we actually did end up getting like I wouldn't say that majority, but we would get like a trickle amount of people that came literally via flyers, hand-to-hand flyers.
I mean, it makes sense. It's just I think we as people along the way I never experienced that, right? Like I was just never around when people was really pushing it, or by the time I started going out, the internet had really become like the focus of this. But I mean,
it was then too. This is only like 10 years ago. I mean,
no, but like 10 years ago, I still don't remember a lot of people handing me a lot of flyers as I went out about. Maybe in Montreal versus New York, I can't say. I know they used to.
No, it was. This is what you say. Is that you know what I mean? Like it was that there weren't a lot of flyers being handed out back then.
But the effectiveness of doing it, I think, is really big. Because the more I think about it, there have been multiple times where when somebody did hand me a flyer, you stick that shit in your pocket, but you don't even think about it. It's like an instinct. And then you get home, you're like, the fuck is this shit?
And then we also like we knew who to target.
Right.
We did target our audience.
Yeah, we would go to.
I wasn't giving flyers out to old ladies.
Yeah, we would all the hip hop events, like shit like that. We would target who we would just randomly give 5 people who's not interested. That's a waste of paper, bro. Go green. Like, come on.
That's amazing.
The point being, we fostered that, and through street teaming, began in this culture, and I think that's probably like the beginning of like personalpedia. No, actually, because your personalpedia of like movers and shakers and meeting great people, and it starts, I think, even before you were rapping. When that original interview put me onto that about you, like family.
It's like you were just a kid and you were already
I was just around. I just happened to be around it, man.
Yeah.
Like I guess I was blessed in that aspect, man. You know, we had no choice where we would put, but you know.
But you still took advantage of it. That's the
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I mean, every time I hear you talk, it's like some story connected to some story, and there's always a story for another day that you're not getting.
Always.
Always. Every single time.
That's a story for another time. Is one of Penn's
Like,
OG
I don't know if I'll ever be there for that time.
Way too many stories, man.
Way too many stories, yo.
And it's, I don't know, man. It's wild to think about. Like, there's all the stuff that you probably don't even remember right now that's even, like...
Bruh.
There, that's like, again, I feel like the Poison Pen Netflix docu-series is something that would be like a crazy, interesting, and then be making them on less interesting people is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You ain't lying, bro.
No, it would.
That's a Fendi fact.
It's an absolute fact. It's facts plus tax, as the homie says. Your personal life story will be pretty fucking fantastic, bro. I mean, I remember being there for like these last couple decades, right? And I remember, and even then, it's not like I was on your hip, right? So like, I was there for wild monumental shit, and then I was probably not there for even more monumental shit, and then that only covers like close to 2 decades of these last 2 decades, and those incredible stories from you predate our friendship. Our brotherhood.
There's more monumental shit to come.
More monumental shit to come.
Iceberg, True D. I want to shout my man out because my man Karate Joe just passed away. He was one of my big homies from that cypher outside battling in the street era. He never blew up for whatever reason. He was always in and out of, locked up, shit like that. I heard nigga for Flatbush. But he just passed away. I fell out of contact with him, but he just passed away. But I want to.
It's the sun.
I just want to make sure everything's still good.
Okay.
I just want to mention my man because he's probably not gonna get mentioned a lot of places because he wasn't active, putting out music and shit like that. But this nigga was one of the illest street rappers ever, coming up. But I just want to mention something because nobody's gonna mention it because it wasn't there to be documented. But I was there. And that should be the name of whatever I do. I was there, because I was there for a lot of shit. But when Eminem first came to New York in '97, 80 and Hip Hop.
Before Dr. Dre signed him.
Yeah, this is what got the ball rolling, because Duck Down was trying to sign him. A few people was trying to sign him, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, he came to 80 and Hip Hop. 80 and Hip Hop was our house.
Right.
I was saying, a bunch of shit, whatever, but he came through with the Young Zeno.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he came through with Young Zeno. And the other dude, I think he passed away too. Slang Ton, I think he was there.
Ton.
But anyway,
I recognize his name. He was in the Wellerman.
No, he was an outsider. He wasn't a weatherman.
Oh, no, you sure? Because I feel like he was an outsider and a weatherman.
I don't think so. I don't think there was no outsider. Nah, I don't think so.
Maybe he just featured on a song with
Yeah, but the point I'm getting at is, we was outside, bro. And this motherfucker Karate Joe battled Eminem on the corner of Lafayette and Houston. The motherfuckers battled outside for like an hour for like cigarettes and shit. And this nigga was smoking.
Who? Karate Joe? Karate Joe.
I mean, M is M. So I'm not gonna say the act like shit. But everybody knows Eminem.
I mean, listen,
look at what became.
Also, let's be honest. I think I was talking to somebody recently, and they were talking about how Juice destroyed him essentially. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Juice did body him. Yeah, he beat him.
And it's one of those things. It probably was those losses that made him get even sharper.
But my thing is shit happens, bro.
And everybody loses.
Everybody catch. Everybody do some
battle
bullshit.
rap
it happens, man.
I liken it to the MMA, especially the UFC, because nobody gets out of the UFC without taking a loss.
Facts.
Nobody gets out of the UFC without taking a loss. Everybody eventually takes a loss.
We don't all take L's. We don't all.
And everybody in life takes an L.
We don't all have missteps.
Yup.
And look stupid at certain times or have people clowning. But yo, end of the day, it's what you do after that. Like, okay,
Exactly.
I fucked up here. I made a play myself here, but right after that, what did I do? Like, do you stay in that, or do you keep it moving? I fucked up mad times.
Mad times. I was just talking to Holden about my, or we were talking on my brunch, me, Holden, Bucky, about my pause moment from hell, right, in battle rap.
But
and I'm like,
that's classic.
That's classic. I think so too, right? And like people, like doofuses online always try to use it like against me. I'm like, bro, literally right after saying it, I was outside laughing with Littyyy and the homies about it. I was never embarrassed by that moment. I don't understand people that like have this like, oh, that's embarrassing. It's like, yeah, a lot of things are embarrassing, my guy. It's okay.
Like, so I remember we did that shit with when everybody was just jumping and rhyming and shit. Motherfuckers did me brutal, kid. Nigga, right after that, I was upstairs getting high, bro. I was chilling. Like, it was trash. Like, it wasn't a good feeling, but so the fuck what?
So the fuck what?
Nigga, like,
if you
like,
outside, if you outside,
shit happens,
if
bro.
you're outside for real, you know that there's no way for you to get back indoors without some losses and not the greatest moments happening.
It's like, okay, do you take that moment and fucking let it
fold for the rest of your life?
Hey, son, I literally did like 200 shows after that.
You know what I
mean?
Tours,
movies, and all that. So
you know
like,
what I'm saying?
So
like,
what?
So what?
Who fucking cares? Nigga, it happens to everybody, bro. Like, like you can't. Like everything is not gonna be a shining moment. Mm-hmm. It's just the harsh reality of life, bro.
Yup.
Everything not gonna be a shining moment. I mean, you would want it to be, but shit happens, bro. Like, shit happens. It's just what it is, man. And honestly, a lot of times, I learned from a lot of my fuckers. A lot of times it's lack of preparation, or just sometimes you just do shit in the moment, just because you feel it's necessary. And sometimes that just wasn't the right move. But oh well.
Yeah.
You learn from that shit.
You learn. If you're willing to learn. Some people do fold. There are some people that have one bad thing happen to them, and like that's it. They never try again. And
I've definitely had a few moments where I've had some embarrassing things happen.
It's like, pick yourself up and dust yourself off.
I done hosted Rock the Bells, right? I had
one of them.
my man Chewy just came home, right? You know what I'm saying? My man's son, my man's son Low. You know what I'm saying? He got locked up for whatever years ago, right? I ain't seen son in a minute because he was locked up. I'm dead on stage hosting, and I look in the crowd, and I see, and I'm like, and he kind of like, what the fuck? It just, so I literally was like, I forgot that I was on stage. So I'm like walking over to him like, yo, son, what up? And I just did walk off the stage like there was.
Oh, shit. And how high was the stage up?
I mean, it was a Rock the Bell stage. It was one of the festival stages.
Those festival stages, bro. We're not talking about like I can get right here and climb up stage. No, we're talking about above humans arm grass type stage.
I fell right off that shit, bro.
Oh my God, wait, I think I remember you telling me about that because your leg was fucked up.
Oh no, that was another time I fell. That was Flagstaff, Arizona. Almost died. That was great.
Jesus Christ.
Mad injuries.
Mad injuries.
But now,
rapping, yo.
But yeah,
rapping.
but I like, nigga, that's not. What the fuck? I'm gonna dwell on this shit and cry, nigga. I got the fuck back up. I laughed at myself and I just kept going.
That's it.
I mean, obviously, I did. Who wanted to do that? But nigga, it happened. I fell.
That's
so
it.
the fuck what?
Oh, well.
If I dwell on this shit and beat it, then I'm gonna look stupid.
Yeah.
Nigga, I got the fuck back. I kept rocking and nobody cared because I didn't make a big deal out of it.
Exactly.
Shit happens.
Exactly.
And that's like a lot of shit you learn just doing this shit time and time again. It's like a lot of tricks of the trade that you just learn just from a lot of shit. Experience is the best teacher. You know what I'm saying? But that Flagstaff shit was crazy. That was me trying to jump. That's back when I used to be running and jumping and moshing. I was a heavy mosh pit nigga. I used to get hit in the head with bottles and all that shit. Like we used to do all that.
Penn is daring and he does a lot of things that I don't think people would expect from him.
Yeah,
would expect from me, and I'm more along the lines of like, what are you doing? Man, you crazy. I would never do that.
Now, if you saw me on stage and I took the sneakers off and shit, like if I had my boots on, what's up, son? That's how you know. Oh, niggas about to get in the mosh pit. I took off my good kicks. I threw on the 10s.
That was Buddha's.
My brother right here.
Bronzu Animal CEO, inventor, proprietor, and eventually soon to come guest on the Perspectives podcast.
Paper?
I don't have papers.
No, sir.
Actually, we gotta wrap up because
I gotta get on that.
If we're gonna make that mural, the food.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to wrap up so that we could get
all of this stuff done. I would like
all
to
these things done.
make it across the border today if I can.
And you're a fucking treasure.
A legend.
You're a legend, bro.
I mean,
like you always,
you're one of those
always
guys.
been one of the fucking square, like straight up motherfucking, straight up like 6 o'clock, motherfucking realist, sincere, kind, giving, great people. Is having the blessing of having your brotherhood in my life is the shit that I look at as like is the shit that I look at as like, yo, that's why this hip hop shit is a blessing, because I've got the privilege of having people like you in my life that are blessing. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking this time to sit with us, Brody.
My brother,
the awesome thing is, right, like he kept on saying, that's a story for another time. So there's definitely a part 3 to come. I keep on thinking like, yo, in a couple more years and we blow up, you know what I mean? That's when we get the audience. That's when we bring in everybody that matters for the other parts. You know what I'm saying?
That's when we try to get Penn to talk about some of those other times.
Some of those other times.
There's a lot of times.
But yeah, I appreciate you for real. Like it's a big blessing to be in the presence of somebody with your experience. To me, that's what it is. Like it's a learning opportunity for everybody that watches this, and it's a blessing to get that knowledge and to hear how you maneuver through life and the various things you've impacted. Is, you know, to me, the more history you know, the stronger and wiser you can move. So to learn from the successes of great people is gonna help us all become great people. And empirically, you're great people. However, it gets measured in the eyes of others now. Empirically, you just have done what all great people do and have the kind of impact of great people. And one day, people are gonna know. It's just gonna come out.
Facts. Factual.
So again, appreciate you coming through.
Thank you. No, we appreciate him for giving us his time and us coming through.
I guess
to
we
his
came through.
neighborhood. We came through.
It's usually not how it goes.
Not
usually
how
it
it
is.
goes.
Yeah, this is local.
That's right. We in Brooklyn, which is fucking wild.
Brooklyn.
I got my wife from out here. You know what I'm saying?
I got my wife. He's out here shopping for wives and shit.
Yeah, also, just because we can't forget a shout out end of the week.
Shout out EO Dub.
Well, this time we might not be
Big
on the
EO
Zoom.
Dub.
We were ready to go on the Zoom, but it didn't work out with the cameras and whatnot. So shout out to them for holding us down. It's going to be over. We're connected to them. It's what it is. End of the week. EODub.com, EODUB.com to get all their good stuff. And thank y'all for watching this in the future. It's there because it's not a show without y'all. So appreciate you. Like, comment. Yo, and shout out the Vacant Dreams line as Just One, if I'm not mistaken.
Who we also
had on the show.
I unfortunately didn't get to be there for that episode. I look like a doofus.
But it was a good episode still.
Nah, stay here. This is good. This is a good outro. This is family.
I appreciate all of you coming through again. I don't know.
Speaking on those, how we don't, the laws and shit. Smoking in the park. See?
Smoking in the park. It's not allowed.
How dare you?
You think?
But it's whatever though.
He's never gonna stop.
You tell them no. It's like your son. Like we the most like basic rules, normies motherfuckers. Just
the fucking wall.
This is me, so that's a layer on top of that.
Laws? What laws?
Fuck is her law?
But sure, appreciate y'all for real. As we close out, live long and prosper, everybody.